Hey, good morning, South Fellowship Church. This is Ryan Paulson, and coming to you with a video on 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 15 through 21. But what I want to do today, I'm not going to walk through necessarily the whole thing, but I want to point out to you one of the important things to keep in mind when you're reading narrative. So when you're reading a story, when you're reading a historical account in the scriptures, there's a certain sort of literary device that oftentimes the authors use that's really important to pick up as we study the scriptures. So let me just begin, and you're going to see it pretty quickly. So if you've been with us in this series, Elijah, and that's who him is here, is a prophet of God, and he's on the run. You can go see that in verse 3. He's on the run because he's afraid. Okay, he's afraid. He's afraid of Jezebel, this wicked queen, and she said she's going to kill him, and he's scared, and so he's running and he's hiding. We'll talk about where he's hiding in just a moment, but listen to the way that the scriptures start in this passage. The Lord said to him, "Go back the way you came and go to the desert of Damascus." And I just want to stop there. Go back. Not only does he tell him where, but he tells him the pathway that he wants him to take. So where and then how. And this is significant. We could read over this pretty easily, but because we're in narrative, we want to sort of envision what's going on here and where it is that God is telling Elijah to go. So we have Mount Carmel, where Elijah saw, let's make it orange, fire come down from heaven, right? And then Elijah ran, and he went roughly 150 miles down to Mount Horeb, or Mount Sinai. And so this is where he heard God in the whisper. Okay, so you have this sort of, this is where God comes to him now and says, "Go back." Now, Mount Carmel is where he ran from because, as the scriptures told us, he was afraid. He doubted that God was going to come through for him. He was running in a lot of ways. This is a scene where he has failed, where he's come up short. And so when the scriptures say, "Go back the way you came," and the desert of Damascus, by the way, is way past all of this. Go back the way you came. What God is telling Elijah is, all right, I want you to go back into the place of failure, go back into the place of pain, go back into the place of doubt. I want you to face all that stuff, Elijah. You can't run from it. You're going to have to meet it. And it's at this place, Abel Mohilah, that he's going to find Elisha, and he's going to anoint him. But God won't let him go the way that we often want to go. God won't let him go, and you have sort of the Dead Sea right here. So he could have gone up and then crossed the Jordan and gone around and then gone back. God won't let him go that way. God doesn't want him to go around the other side and sort of just go up the Mediterranean and then go in. He's got to come, and he's got to face his pain. He's got to face his fear. He's got to face his doubt, because God knows that if Elijah doesn't face these things, they will be following him his whole life. What we don't face will follow us. It's not it might follow us. It will follow us. And God doesn't want Elijah living, looking over his shoulder. God doesn't want Elijah living with those things sort of creeping up in his life. He wants him to go back and to face those things because he knows he can't move beyond them. He must move right through them in order to grow. And one of the powers of narrative is what's subtle in the text, what's both said and then what is unsaid but told to us through the arc of the story and the physical places that people go. And so that's one thing that as you read, sort of trace where you're seeing the people go. And if there's a significant thing like go back, ask yourself, where's he going back to? And what happened there? And what is it that God might want us to see in his call? Because I'm convinced that there are many times when you and I run in fear, and then we just want to move on. We just want to go the other way, right? Or we want to go around one way or another. But God says, no. You've got to go back the way that you came so that you can confront those things, allow God to heal them, and then move forward. So is there any pain you're running from? Any fear you're running from? Any doubt you're running from? Any failure you're running from? I think God's call to us today would be go back. Go back, face it, and then move forward. I pray that you will. If you need help in that area, please don't hesitate to reach out. Reach out to a good counselor, a good therapist, a pastor, a friend, a mentor. You can reach out to South Fellowship Church. We would love to journey with you in that as well. Well, God bless you as you go back, because as we go back, then we can move forward in health. Have a great day. See you next time.